Ooh, welcome to Ole Walls House. It's me, it's your main man, Ole Walls, and I'm back with you, ladies and gentlemen. Episode 167 coming your way. Probably my favorite up of the year. We're going to be diving in. We're going to be picking every college basketball game. Got a couple of guests coming tonight. Mr. Jeff Slanovec returning to the pod in back-to-back weeks. And someone who hasn't been here in a while. One of the original pickers. The hardest worker in America, Mr. Zach Place. So they'll be with me here in just a second. They will be here. We're going to pick every single NCAA tournament game. After that, won't be a ton other in the show. I will run through, I'll hit some passing thoughts and things like that, touch on some Flyers, some golf, a little bit of, my thoughts in the world. But before we get there, just want to say thank you to everybody. I appreciate all the support. So thank you. Just really appreciative of all the watches, the listens. So, and just one thing I'm going to ask you guys, if you could go rate, review, comment, subscribe, and share. That would really help out the pod. Also, don't forget to check out the Full Range pod from my man MJ. It's on the Ole Walls House YouTube channel, and then on Spotify, you can search the Full Range podcast. So, without any further ado, let's get into it. Okay, everybody, best pod of the year. We're going to pick every single game of the NCAA tournament. Joining me, we've got Mr. Jeff Slanovec coming back from last week. Jeff, how we doing?
We're great. All great. Madness officially here.
Awesome. And Mr. Zach Place, some of you may know him as the hardest worker in America. It's been a while since you've been on, Zach.
Been 1 year, right? I think this is my third year in a row of March Madness, and that's the only show I get on.
You did not do it last year. We had to replace you. We had Jeff and Bucky last year.
Yeah, Jeff and Bucky. So I took a hiatus.
I'm actually starting to think this is the first time you've been on video.
It is the first time I've been on video.
Okay.
We're up in the pod game.
Awesome. Well, the rules are this. We are picking every single game. We start with Tuesdays, Wednesdays, then Thursday and Fridays games. I will update the Saturday, Sunday picks on the Ole Walls House Twitter. Zach, in his many years back, tried to pick an over-under instead of a game spread. That is not allowed. Three of us will make a pick. The majority moves on. So away we go. We're going to get started. No more messing around. We start on Tuesday night. Tuesday night, ladies and gentlemen, we have St. Francis versus Alabama State in a 16 versus 16 matchup to kick us off at 5:40 p.m. I'm sure that's True TV. Alabama State is laying the 4.5. Mr. Zach Place, start us off. What do you have?
I'm going to take Alabama State at an 18-15 record. I'm going against the state of Pennsylvania with St. Francis, but coming into the tournament, a 13-17 record. You can't do anything in March with under 500.
Jeff.
That's more knowledge than I had about this game. I know that Central Connecticut State blew, I think they were 10 or 11 point favorites in the NEC championship to St. Francis, and St. Francis made it really ugly. I want to say they won like 44-43 or something like that. Does not give me a ton of confidence for this game either. I will side with Zach and make your job very easy in the first game.
Yeah, the only thing is the Red Flash is a pretty cool nickname for St. Francis and is the hometown PA team, but it looks like my choice does not matter anyway. Alabama State gets the very first pick from us. We move on to the late game that night. The North Carolina Tar Heels stealing their way into the NCAA tournament somehow, some way, maybe a little collusion. Zach, you know about collusion. A little collusion on the committee. Jeff, what do you got?
What's the number?
Oh, sorry, 4.5. 4.5 is the number. Carolina Lane.
I think I like North Carolina. It's been well documented, the struggles of the Mountain West in the NCAA tournament the last couple of years. I think North Carolina, and to be honest, all of the ACC, the couple teams that they did get in, I think have something to prove. I think it starts tomorrow night. Two very contrasting styles. I think Carolina gets the game going a little bit faster, which favors them, and I think they pull ahead late to give us a cover.
Zach, this one's not going to make it back around to you, not because I'm just a Carolina homer, but because San Diego is, in fact, not a state. Thus, we must pick against them. The North Carolina Tar Heels move on.
Can I just say that Jeff's point about the Mountain West, I mean, San Diego State did debunk that just, last year or 2 years ago when they made the Final Four?
2 years ago.
Yeah. But I will UNC all the way. They are also only playing 300 some miles away from home. So home crowd's going to travel.
Look at you guys bringing the knowledge. Wednesday at 5:40 from the first four in the UD Arena in Dayton, Ohio, we have Mount St. Mary's up against American University. I will give both of you extra credit points if you can guess either one of the mascots. American is -2.5 here. It is up to me to start first. I'm gonna go with the the alma mater of one Coach Tim Farley, the Mount St. Mary's team, and I will take the 2.5 points. So we swing over to Zach now.
I have nothing on either of these teams. I'm gonna go with American and make Jeff the first one to be a tiebreaker, and their mascot will be the Patriots.
Incorrect.
American is the Eagles.
Oh, look at Jeff.
I should know what Mount St. Mary's is. It's 15 minutes from where I'm currently residing. They go by the Mounties, so it's not Mountaineers. Is it? Mountaineers. That's the guess.
Mountaineers is the correct answer.
There you go. What do I get? Did you say?
It's 2.5. You get extra credit points.
Extra credit points. We'll take those. I like Mount St. Mary's. 6th seed rolled through kind of a wild tournament in the MAC in Atlantic City. They got Tobin Anderson fired at Iona this morning after taking them down over the weekend, and I like them.
Okie dokie. The final first four game is Xavier and Texas. Xavier, the Musketeers, laying 3.5. Zach, we're back to you.
Oh, coming off traveling to MSG and watching Xavier, I don't have good things to say about anybody in the Big East this tournament, so I'm going to go with Texas.
I think we're going to find out very early on whether that middle to back of the SEC is worthy of being here. Xavier was pretty good at the end of the year. Their resume doesn't look great. They won a lot of games. Texas did not win a lot of games, but played a much tougher schedule. You said Xavier's favored?
Yeah, -3.5.
I like Texas. Sorry, Walls. I think it's too many points for we're going to learn about the SEC real early.
Yeah, how many did the SEC get in? 14?
14.
I mean, yeah, we're going to find out. All right, we move on to the games proper. We go over to the South region to start. That'll be Auburn will play, I don't know, the way this bracket. They play the winner of Alabama State and St. Francis. So, good luck to them. I think, Jeff, you technically have the first pick. We don't have a number, so you make up a fictional number that we say we'd go with whoever.
Can I get bonus points if we guess the number?
Yeah, sure.
I think
24.5.
I think Auburn deserves a good look in this game. I think they're hearing a lot of slander. Nobody's ever lost 3 out of 4 leading into the tournament and won the tournament. Those 3 teams they lost to happen to be pretty good basketball teams. The majority of America thinks. I think they have no choice but to be ready to kick the living crap out of whoever they're going to play to kind of reset the tone for the next 3 weeks for them. So I like them up to, God, I don't know. Can it really be more than like 24 or 25?
Yeah.
My head was I'd like Auburn up to 26.
Let's do that.
Okay, we'll jot down Auburn -26. If it's higher than 26, we'll take the other side. And
I agree.
In post-production.
Yep.
All right, the first real matchup we got here in the tournament, Louisville and Creighton. Louisville maybe one of the better teams out of the ACC, the terrible ACC, and Creighton, another team Zach has had the pleasure of getting acquainted with here. Louisville minus 2.5 against Creighton. I believe, Jeff, you are up, or are you up? I don't know. Jeff, be up.
I don't want to go. I don't want to be up.
You're up.
I'm up. Okay.
Yes.
Let's go Louisville. I think the ACC teams are going to come here trying to prove something. So I'm going to go Louisville.
2.5, my pick.
Yeah.
I just got done saying I didn't like the Big East. Creighton was the one team that surprised me. I thought they played well. McDermott coached really well. He schemed well in all of his games. And, I mean, besides St. John shooting the lights out in the second half, they were the Big East champion. So give me 2.5, and I'll take Creighton.
I just want to say I absolutely hate that they've made this the first game of the entire tournament. I think both teams are actually pretty good. I think we all expected both of them to potentially be a little bit higher. It feels like whichever side I pick, I'm going to be 0-1 and angry by 2:30 or whatever the end of the first game is. But I kind of think the ACC at the top's a little bit better than people think. And I think Louisville might be a little bit deeper. I think Ashworth's really good for Creighton, but I think Louisville can pressure him and get him off his spots a little bit, and that's going to take them a little bit out of what they do. So I'm going to roll with you, Wally, and say Louisville.
Louisville gets the nod. Quick scheduling thing. You mentioned them. You don't like that they scheduled this game. In the Thursday-Friday games, there is a 10:30 p.m. Eastern tip time in a game that is in Cleveland. So that's going to be 11 by the time it tips, knowing how these things go.
At the earliest.
Yeah. Well, you also have a game that starts 11 a.m. local time in Seattle. Maybe flip those around.
Got to be the same producers as the PGA Tour.
Next up in the stand in the South region, we have Michigan, the 5 seed, a 5-12 matchup here with UC San Diego. Michigan also laying 2.5. Zach, we're around to you.
I gotta go with Michigan. What's the spread? What is it?
2.5.
Give me Michigan 2.5. San Diego traveling, tempo slow. I mean, yeah. Big Ten versus Big West. Give me Big Ten.
Zach has no confidence in that tempo slow at all. Maybe you watched them play UC Irvine the other night, who wants to grind you and play defense.
Yeah, I just.
If you listened to Old Walls House last week, you heard me mention UC San Diego as a team to watch in this tournament. They are the number 1 against the spread team in the country going into this tournament. They are also number 1 in the country in fewest turnovers. Michigan, one of the worst in the country at committing turnovers. I think UC San Diego wins outright. I will leave Walls to make the determining pick.
I was gonna pick Michigan, but that passionate explanation from you swung me. And UC San Diego is the Tritons. That's a pretty cool mascot. So give me the Tritons. UC San Diego. Let's get a 12 seed over a 5 seed early here. Next up, Texas A&M and Yale. Texas A&M will be laying 6.5. This is a 4-13 matchup. Jeff, you are on the start.
Yeah, I think it's a scary game for Texas A&M. They don't shoot it overly well. Yale shoots it really, really well. James Jones at Yale can really, really coach. I think 6.5 might be just a touch too much. I think A&M wins. I think Yale covers.
We're only picking spreads, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I like Yale. I just clicked their offensive efficiency. They are 11th in the country in offensive efficiency this year. Texas A&M tied for 122nd. Zach will not get the opportunity to do anything here. We're going to go with Yale.
It's sad. They have not played a single good team. 214 strength of schedule.
They did beat Auburn.
They're going to get crushed. They're going to get crushed. Why'd I pick them?
Texas A&M's got the 5th strength of schedule.
There could not be a more contrasting style of play. Texas A&M is going to throw the ball at the rim as hard as they can and hopefully go up and get it, and then throw it at the rim again and hopefully go up and get it and finally make one of them. Yale's going to go under almost every ball screen and dare them to shoot it and pray the ball bounces the right way.
Can they shoot? Can Texas A&M shoot?
They cannot shoot.
No.
Okay, I'm okay. I was going to say, I was about to flip.
16th in offense, efficiency at 46%.
Their 3-point field goal percentage, they are tied for 322nd.
Yeah, they do not shoot the rock.
Okay,
goal.
I'm good. I'm good with the L here. Ole Miss plays the winner of San Diego State and North Carolina. Am I up? I'm up.
Yes, and North Carolina was 2.5, right?
They were before, or four. They were 4.5.
4.5, and we picked them. So, I mean, that matchup got to be North Carolina favored by 1.
No,
I think Ole Miss will be favored.
I think if they put on a show, mark another bonus points. UNC's favored.
I'm taking UNC in this game. I think UNC gets to the second round and then bows out. So I think UNC goes in and upsets Ole Miss. And I would take that to them giving 1 point, to UNC giving 1 point. I'll take them at any point as a dog, and I'll lay up to 1 point for them.
And I'm going next, and I'm taking UNC as well. I think everyone's going to go. They're 1-12 against Quad 1. They shouldn't be here, and I think they deserve to be here still. I hate West Virginia, so they can pound salt.
What does West Virginia have to do with anything?
I have one employee who's from West Virginia. He went to West Virginia, and
they're playing Ole Miss.
Doesn't matter. They got in over West Virginia.
Oh.
So
okay.
all the narrative is West Virginia's filing class action lawsuits, and they're going and corrupt. What is it? What I see today? National Agency of Corruption or something.
Nice.
Yeah, it's all over.
Nice. Love it. Iowa State is our next matchup. Zach, you lead us off. We got a big one here. 14.5. They lay against Lipscomb.
Strength of schedule. Iowa State. 36 versus 282. I'm laying the points with Iowa State.
I think it's a big number. Iowa State's been a little bit banged up. I know Coach Otzelberger had mentioned they're a little concerned they're not going to have some of their guys for the tournament or at least the first weekend. Lipscomb, historically, very well coached team. I'll take the 14.5.
Okay. Next bonus points quiz. Jeff's currently up 1-0 for those of which that are here. Where is Lipscomb? Zach, you get the first chance since you are down in the bonus points round.
Tennessee.
Correct.
Let's go.
For another bonus point, can you name the city?
I don't know. I was going to say Chattanooga, but that doesn't sound right. It's not Jackson. Nashville?
Bingo again.
Oh, Slano said no.
Is it Nashville?
Is it Nashville?
Lipscomb is a private Christian university in Nashville, Tennessee.
So them and Vanderbilt, right?
So
just those two in Nashville?
2 bonus points for Zach.
I didn't know Nashville.
He takes the lead. So it's on me. Iowa State versus Lipscomb here. 14.5. I'm with Zach on the strength of schedule. Iowa State. We're gonna go with the dog here. Not the dog, but the dog.
Their good's been as good as almost anybody in the country.
All right, good to hear. Next up, Marquette and New Mexico. Marquette is giving 3.5 points in the 7-10 matchup.
Is it me?
It is you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to take the 3.5 with New Mexico. Not only do I not totally trust this Marquette team, I don't think they've totally figured it out. I don't think Cam Jones has been everything they thought that he was going to be or he would need to be for them to make a run into this thing. And I also think Richard Pitino might be trying to audition a little bit here this weekend for some of these jobs that are open. So I will take the 3.5.
So Richard Pitino coaches New Mexico?
He does.
I'm not sold on him. I like the way Marquette shoots the ball. Good foul shooting team. Good 3-point shooting team. They don't turn it over. I'll take Marquette. I'll lay the points. So, Mr. Place, you are the tiebreaker.
I am going to side with you and take Marquette. New Mexico's offensive efficiency versus defensive efficiency is way too skewed. They're just one-sided, lopsided, and I agree. he's auditioning, but I think he's looking ahead to, and he's got other jobs on his mind. It's going to be Marquette and Shaka Smart.
All righty. I'm up next, but we've run into our first issue of the night. I cannot find a spread on Michigan State and Bryant. Have either of you guys seen anything?
ESPN has 18.5.
18.5. Okay. Bryant. What do we know about Bryant? You guys want to?
They're the Bulldogs.
Play fast.
And they're located in Boston or somewhere in like that northeast quarter. My college catcher transferred from Bryant. That's all I know about Bryant. I knew.
Okay. Bryant does not shoot free throws well. 201st in the country in free throw shooting. Don't know if that's going to matter in this game. Michigan State, hot right now, right? It was Michigan State that just won the Big Ten, not Michigan. No, Michigan just won the Big Ten. We bet against them. Interesting. Michigan State's got something to prove here. But 18.5 is too much for me. I'm going to go with Bryant.
I'm going Michigan State.
Gives me
What's
a chance to say
Yep.
one of my favorite things that I read today about teams that were unranked in the preseason, top 25, have not made the NCAA Tournament Final Four since they have gone to 64 teams. Most of them don't even make it to the second weekend. Michigan State, St. John's are the two teams that qualify in this one. Bryant can score, and I think because they can score, I'm going to take the 18.5 with you, George.
Phil Martelli Jr. Is that his? Yeah, Phil Martelli. This is Phil Martelli's kid.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm definitely in on Bryant. Nice. All right, we move to the West bracket here. It is Florida laying 28.5 against Norfolk State.
26 might not be enough for Auburn if we have a 28.5. 2 28.5s I see as I look at the other side.
Okay, we'll move that to 28 then. We're taking Auburn. Let's just get that out of the way. We're taking Auburn.
And I'm taking Florida. I'm the first pick. They are traveling far, but offensively efficient. I'm taking lay the points. Chomp chomp. Jeff's gonna follow.
It's in Raleigh. They're not traveling that far.
They're going to meet in the middle.
Yeah.
They'll move further west for the next weekend.
Yeah, is the San Francisco the next weekend? Probably.
Sure. What do you got, Jeff?
Sure. I like Florida as well. Playing incredibly well. Really fun. Doesn't worry. I think they've scored 90 for like 3 straight weeks or something like that. Have fun, Norfolk State.
Yeah, you guys understood the assignment. Norfolk is what is it not, boys? It's not a state. We are not allowed to take them. Jeff, UConn -4.5 versus Oklahoma.
I like Oklahoma. I think it's just too many points. I think UConn might win the game. Fascinating against Styles. Oklahoma wants to get up and down. Played really tough schedule in the SEC. I don't know that I trust this UConn team, but hesitant to fade them. But 4.5 seems like a lot.
So I recently watched the movie Twisters. Good movie, based in Oklahoma, and I don't like Dan Hurley. Oklahoma gets the nod from us.
You like Glenn Powell?
Glenn Powell was bringing it, man.
That's a good looking dude. When he walked out in that white shirt and hat off, oof.
It made me consider a couple things in my life.
That's right.
Next up, I lead us off. Memphis and Colorado State, a 5-12 matchup. The 12 seed, Colorado State, is the favorite, laying 2.5 points. When I see that, I jump all over it. Give me Colorado State.
And Colorado is actually a state. So
Colorado is, in fact, a state.
We can gamble on it?
We can.
I'll take Colorado State then.
All right. A lot of times we're just not even getting to our final guy here. You will lead us off here, Zach. Missouri -6.5 against Drake in a 6-11 matchup. Drake, the 11 seed.
Oh. Is the SEC very good? Some would say yes.
That is the question.
Is Missouri?
You might not be able to find. I've seen both of these teams play, which is an oddity here.
I mean,
you will not find two teams that play completely different styles of basketball. This game is going to be fucking amazing to watch. Like, just to
Fascinating.
see. It could be a dog shit game, but like it's going to be amazing to just see what's going on. Thursday, right after we get off the dinner break, I think this is the first game back. I am so interested to see what happens here.
What's the spread? What's Missouri favored by?
6.5. Just a couple quick notes for you. Points per game. Drake, 70. That is 279th in the country.
I'm shocked at 70.
I am too.
Missouri, 84.5. That is 9th in the country. Pace,
fast.
Drake, 364th. Missouri, this shocked me actually that they're only 99th in pace. They feel faster. But 364th, that's got to be like last, right?
Close, if not. And a little state rivalry we have here, right?
No, Drake's in Iowa.
Yeah.
It's in Des Moines.
Midwest rivalry.
Yeah.
There are 364 schools in NCAA Division I men's basketball. They rank 364th in pace.
Give me Drake.
I am also going to take Drake. I think they have the coaching advantage. Division II national champ a number of times has brought 3 or 4 of his kids, I think I mentioned last week, with them. I trust that he's going to be able to get the game going the way that he wants and not the way that Missouri wants. Give me Drake.
I would have been on Drake too. When it's the fast versus slow teams, I think if the fast team can get it going, it's not always for forever. If you can just muck the game up, it can be for forever a lot easier. Jeff, you got Texas Tech laying 15.5, and UNC Wilmington is their foe. That's a 3-14 matchup.
Just a heads up, I think we skipped Maryland.
We did skip Maryland. Go back to Maryland. Do Maryland. Maryland minus 10.5 against Grand Canyon.
I think Maryland's good, so I like Maryland. I think I said that last week on the pod. I think Maryland's good. I think they're talented. Big kid. Very, very, very good inside as a freshman, Derek Queen. Don't know how they lost that game to Michigan the other day. I think they cover.
10.5 is too much for me. So, Grand Canyon.
On to me, Big Ten versus the WAC. 10.5. Maryland is a good team.
Maryland is the I underlined the wrong team. Maryland gets the nod. All right. So now I have Texas Tech minus 15.5 and UNC Wilmington. This feels like there's always a 2 to 4 seed that gets knocked off, and there's a couple that get the scare. And I don't know if Texas Tech's going to be the team that gets knocked off, but they're going to get scared. UNC Wilmington will cover the spread and lose by like 8 by the end of it, but they will be in this game.
I'm going to take UNC Wilmington as well. All of their starters are junior or senior, and they've won like 15 out of the last 18 games coming into the tournament.
We love it. Yeah. We love it. We love the veteran experience.
Heat check.
Texas Tech is not going to lose this game.
No, but they're not going to cover the game. Right? I mean, yeah, it
doesn't matter. My pick doesn't matter. I would.
You can still say it. Oh, you got to get on the record sometimes so everybody knows that you were against it.
Put it on the record. We are against UNC Wilmington. Texas Tech is very, very, very good, and may come out of this entire quadrant.
All righty. 7-10. Kansas and Arkansas. Kansas minus 4.5. When I first saw Kansas this year playing UNC early in the year, I was like, this is a national championship team, Kansas. Little did I know the opponent really helped that out for them because they have not been a national champion contender, I don't think. They lay 4.5 against Arkansas. Zach, it's on you.
Me?
It is you.
Against Arkansas? Coach Cal's at Arkansas now.
He is.
Yes.
Give me Kansas. That dude can't coach. No chance.
I have a couple people that are going to listen to this that are going to very much agree with Zach Place and what he just said. I don't know that Kansas should be favored over 4.5 against many Power 5 teams. I don't think Arkansas is one of them. I think Kansas may win. 4.5 is a lot. I will take Coach Cal to keep it close.
I still can't get out of my head that I thought Kansas played really well the couple times I watched them earlier in the year. I don't know. I haven't seen them much since, but I can't get that out of my head. I'm going to take Kansas. Kansas gets it. They lay the 4.5. The final matchup in the West is the Johnnies, the newly minted Big East champs. Zach Place was able to witness against the number 15 seeded Omaha. Omaha, the red one.
I think this is a really hard game to pick against the spread because St. John's really doesn't shoot it well. And what Zach saw the other day is kind of an anomaly. And almost 20 points is a lot of points for a team that kind of wants the game to grind a little bit and get ugly. I know nothing about Omaha, but I will take 18.5. Hope that St. John's comes out a little slow in a look-ahead spot to what's going to be a really intriguing second round, regardless of whether Kansas or Arkansas wins that other one.
It's on me. Omaha is going to get dominated. I'm just looking at this, like, it's just some stats here. Their defensive rating is terrible. They turn it over a lot. They don't take it away. They don't assist. They don't offensive rebound. They don't defensive rebound. They're going to get massacred. Give me the Johnnies. Give me Rick Pitino.
I'm going to say 18 is the number.
18 is the number.
Like, I hated St. John's, but they found a way to win, and they found a way to cover in every game I watched. I live bet. They were down 14. I live bet. Killed it. Rick Pitino in a white suit is going to dominate. Give me
White
a
suit
minus
Rick
18.
Pitino. All right. We move on to the East. Who's up?
Back to
You
me.
are, I believe.
I am. So
Yeah.
we've got Duke versus either American or Mount St. Mary's. God, I don't know what to even think here. I don't know what the spread's going to be. Cooper Flag is playing, they're saying,
I think so.
but the other kid's not, right?
Malik.
Yeah. But we don't really know Cooper Flag's
He's still
where he's
thinking,
at.
Yeah.
Right.
So I don't even know what to do here. I mean, the line could be anywhere from probably 20 to 30.
Yes, I would say somewhere in that ballpark.
I mean, I think they're probably good enough without him to cover a big number anyway, even if he's not 100%. I mean,
I like
can't.
Duke below 25 and whoever they play above 25.
Okay, we can put that on there because I'm pretty good with that too.
Yeah.
I know for sure Mount St. Mary's wants to slow it down a little bit. That would invite a big spread opportunity to cover as long as they can score a couple points.
But I mean, Duke's tempo rank is not good as well.
Correct.
So
but they can really guard.
Yeah. Americans is 349th.
How many teams get into the fucking tournament playing so slow?
No idea.
Efficient.
You fucking gotta be. Actually, and that's one of the reasons why I'm kind of regretting that Drake pick. You have to be so efficient if that's all you get.
They are efficient.
But the other team only.
But the other team,
too.
that's true. That's true.
And
The other team's not used to it.
Yep. If you're not used to having to maximize every possession and you kick it away a couple times that you think you're going to get back, and the other team doesn't do that, those numbers start to add up.
All right. Mississippi State and Baylor. Mississippi State is minus 1.5. I think we're on Zach now.
It's up to me. Baylor's been a weird team. 319th in tempo versus 124.
I love that we've just become just absolutely obsessed with
All
the
about
tempo.
Give me Mississippi State. I think offensively, looking at it, they're like 23rd. Defensively, 47th. They do things pretty well on both sides of the ball. I'll take Mississippi State in a 1.5.
We're going to play the Uno reverse card for the second half of the bracket here. I will pick next, and we're going to reverse the order. I like Baylor. They take the ball away. They are top 20 in the country in steals. They do turn it over not too much, so I like that. So I will take Baylor and make Jeff make a decision here.
That was a good reverse because I like Mississippi State, so it never would have gotten to you. Baylor does have a lottery pick. I can't say I've watched a ton of Baylor. I have not. I have watched Mississippi State. They've either looked incredible or they have looked absolutely awful. And we're going to hope on Friday that they look incredible to start the afternoon.
All right. Next up now on me, we have Oregon -7.5 against Liberty, the Flames. I don't know. I just like the Liberty Flames as a name. Liberty, we're all about liberty, in this country here. We're going to take Liberty in this 5-12 matchup. Liberty keeps it close, may even pull the upset. Because I think Oregon's been pretty like up and down this year too, right?
It feels it. I'm going to share something I learned about Liberty from a podcast I listened to on the way into work this morning, which said all Liberty does is shoot threes. They don't try to then get the rebound.
Yes.
They don't try to do anything else except just launch threes. I don't know that that's going to be a good strategy against Dana.
That's
Altman.
the team America falls in love with this year, Jeff.
They're not going to fall in love with them because of me. I'm going to take one of the better coaches in March and Dana Altman and Oregon and defer to them.
Where was he? Was he at Baylor?
He was at Creighton.
Dana Altman?
Dermick. Yep.
Okay. I felt like he was somewhere else.
He might have been somewhere else, too.
Let's hear it. Where was he? He's looking him up.
This dude looks like the dude that was at Baylor. He was not. He was at
looks
Kansas
like
State. But that was in the 90s.
He's been at Oregon for a while. They've been good.
Okay, maybe I just recognize him from Oregon. He won a CBI championship in 2010, 2011, in case you were wondering.
What's that spread? What's the spread here?
7.5. Oregon laying 7.5.
Liberty 284 in tempo. Give me 7.5 with Oregon.
Tempo. The tempo.
Tempo town. Baby.
I'm very excited for you to look up the tempos of this next game. I think, anyway.
The
Arizona and Akron.
The tempos are fast.
Sure
we are going to play fast.
13th and 76 is what I'm seeing.
I got 16th for Akron and 54 for Arizona. And wow.
When
You
Caleb
lead us
Love
off, Jeff.
when Caleb Love shoots whenever he wants.
He sure fucking does.
That helps the tempo a little bit. With that being said, I think this is a bad matchup for Akron. Akron's not very big. Arizona is big. They're skilled. I think as long as Caleb Love doesn't shoot them out of it, I think Arizona rolls here.
I think if Caleb Love still shoots him out of it, Arizona still rolls here.
Arizona rolls is the.
You don't even get to see the zips. Sorry.
Nah, I wasn't going to anyway. I think Caleb Love thrives on this type of competition. It's when he runs into somebody a little tougher that it bothers him. Zach, BYU -3.5 against VCU.
This is another one that's a sad matchup because this is going to be a great game, and it sucks that both of these teams found each other in the first round because they could have both gone into the second weekend.
It's not going to be tempo time in this one, though.
No tempo time here.
We're going to grind it out.
Yes, we are. And we're going to grind it out for me with BYU. I think VCU's head coach is taking another job, and I don't think he's got his head in the game, and I think BYU's gonna win.
He's definitely taking another job.
Yes. Do you know where?
BYU shoots the three pretty good, so I'm going to take BYU.
I do not know where. I am one of the people that hopes that job is in the suburbs of Philadelphia,
North
although
Philadelphia.
I don't believe that it's going to be. I think he's playing us for some leverage at Virginia. I have a couple friends who love BYU and love cheering for what they refer to as the Soakers. So we are going to take BYU for my friends.
What's the person that just jumps on the bed? What do you call that person?
What is it?
That's a great trivia question. Oh,
BYU does launch the three, though. They are fun to watch. Unfortunately, sometimes they don't go in like they didn't against Houston the other day, and then they are not very fun to watch.
know the over-under here. 180 tempo versus 241.
I'm shocked BYU's that slow.
You ready for the answer to your question? It's called a Provo pusher. Whew. I'm fucking crying. I gotta get it together here.
Here we go.
We gotta talk about Wisconsin and Montana after discussing soaking and Provo pusher.
Provo pusher. Might be my fantasy team name. Harambe's gone and the Provo pushers are in.
That's going to be the name of this episode for the pod, just Provo pushers. Oh, God, we got Wisconsin given 16.5 against Montana. Montana shoots it over 50% from the field on the year. Wisconsin is this is not your daddy's Wisconsin team. These boys like to go a little bit in comparison to most Wisconsin teams. Middle of the road overall in pace and tempo, I'm seeing here. But shoot the ball very well. Good 3-point shooting team, good shooters from the foul line. I have been impressed with Wisconsin this year. I'm surprised we're getting 16.5 with the way they've closed out the year. But I think Wisconsin will beat up a team like Montana. It's when they get later in the tournament, I think there's some worry. So I'm going to be on Wisconsin minus 16.5.
I agree with you, Jordan. I think they've struggled the last couple weeks a little bit. I think this is a good get-right spot for them. Wisconsin.
I agree. I think Wisconsin does both sides of the ball really well, and I think that leads them into the second weekend.
Yeah, and it's not these Wisconsin teams that just can't fucking score. One of those. Jeff, you get St. Mary's and Vanderbilt. St. Mary's minus 3.5.
Fascinating game. St. Mary's might be 363 in tempo, according to your rankings, but really, really efficient. I'm sorry. Don't feel like I ever get St. Mary's right. We're going to give them one more shot, but I think whoever wins this game loses to Alabama anyway. So we're going to go with St. Mary's.
What was your guess on their tempo?
Probably close to Drake.
They are 359 on. They're 359 on mine.
I got them at 357. So yeah. Did you take them?
I did.
Okay.
Oh, can I flip a coin?
Yeah.
No, I'm gonna take St. Mary's as well.
Okay, I don't get to make my decision apparently.
No, I just saw Vanderbilt shooting under 40% from field goals. That's not ideal. That's not good if you can't score.
Zach, you've got Alabama minus 22.5 against Robert Morris.
I mean, what was that kid's name? Alabama's best player? Is he back?
They said he's going to be out. I think I saw the first game.
Okay. Is that the big tall kid? Grant Nelson with the fantastic mustache?
Yeah. I think I saw, don't quote me, I thought I saw out Friday, back Sunday.
Man. Who did Robert Morris beat in Horizon League?
They were the 1 seed, and they came back late to beat Oakland, maybe?
Home game for Robert Morris here.
I mean,
It's in Cleveland.
it is a home game, and I can see almost a school, so it's like I got to take Robert Morris and 20 points if the big guy's out for Alabama.
Yeah, I like Robert Morris too. 22.5. Too much.
I'll throw this in. Strength of schedule, number 1 for Alabama. Robert Morris, 304.
You know what else is number 1 for Alabama per my numbers? Tempo.
I think did you also take Robert Morris, Walls?
I did, yeah. 22 is too much for me.
I'm glad I don't have to make a pick. I think you're going to know in 5 minutes which side is the right side in this thing.
Alabama's either going to be up 12-0 in 5 minutes, or
it's either going to be 15-2, and you're like, done, or Alabama's going to come out and miss, and they're going to get a little tight, and Andy Toole can coach.
All right, we're on to the Midwest. I am up. I have got the distinct honor of choosing Houston minus 28.5 or SIU Edwardsville. This will be another trivia question, bonus points. Zach currently leads 2-1. Tell me where SIU Edwardsville is. You get 1 point for state, 1 point for city, and if you get their mascot, that's an additional point. So 3 points on the line. We will alternate guesses. Jeff, you go first. You can pick anything you want. You can take a crack at anything you want.
I believe it's Illinois, hence the SIU. So I will take Illinois.
That is correct. Southern Illinois University Edwardsville is a public university in Illinois.
What was the other bonus points? Mascot?
The mascot and the city.
I mean, Edwardsville, you just said it, you goofball.
I sure did. That's correct. We're going to eliminate that one. You can guess the mascot.
Oh.
They're the Cougars.
I guess Jeff didn't want to play by the rules and let Zach guess.
Okay.
So Zach, we will not award you that point, but Jeff will not get it. So we are tied at 2. I'll have to find at least one more question coming down the stretch.
In Jeff's defense, there was no way I was guessing Cougars. It was definitely be the Cardinals.
Jeff really fucked himself there.
For the record, I thought it was 3-3.
You know what? It could be. I haven't really been keeping... Oh, it was 2-2 before. I don't know.
2-1.
It's 2-2. It's fucking 2-2. Who cares?
2-2. We're tied.
Houston minus 28.5 against SIU Edwardsville. I mean, SIU Edwardsville feels like it's Mansfield University. So I'm taking Houston. I mean, I don't know.
I'll just let it get to Zach and take SIU Edwardsville because I think there's a chance that SIU Edwardsville doesn't get to 28.5 themselves. I also think there's a chance that they might only have to get to 28.5 to cover 28.5 against Houston. In what is going to be, I would assume, an extremely, extremely low over-under. So we'll give it to Zach.
Yeah, I don't think SIU Edwardsville is going to score. I bet they scored 23 points.
The over-under is 126.5.
That seems high.
Yeah. Houston by 30. They're going to smother them.
So they're saying Houston gets to, that'd be
Houston getting to
75,
70, yeah.
47, 76, 40.
Yeah.
It's a lot of points for Houston.
Houston, 360th in pace.
261 SIU Edwardsville.
You got him at 261? Mine's got him at T184.
No way.
Mm-hmm.
255
reports.
Efficiency.
Conflicting reports indeed. Jeff, you have Gonzaga minus 9.5 versus Georgia.
I love Gonzaga. It's going to take so much for me to not take Gonzaga through Houston. I think Gonzaga got a little bit unlucky with this draw. They are 9th in KenPom right now in the country. Houston is 3rd.
So they're inside the KenPom. They're in the magical triangle of KenPom?
I believe so.
They're offensively 9th and defensively 29th.
They are good. They are good, and they just beat St. Mary's. They seem to be playing better now. I love Gonzaga.
5.5, Zach.
It's 5.5. I like Gonzaga as well.
I found out they're an 8 seed in the magical KenPom triangle. I'm going to have to take Gonzaga.
No, they're good. they do a lot of things right, and they have a good coach who's been to the tournament 24 times.
9 state Sweet 16s on the line.
What'd you say?
9 straight?
9 straight on the line for Gonzaga.
Damn.
They know what they're doing.
Zach, technically your pick is Clemson minus 7.5 against McNeese State, but Jeff, I'm thinking correctly. We don't need to pick this game at all, right?
It's completely up to you. I think my pick might surprise you. But
let me get my pick definitely out of the way, and then you two, then he can go. I am taking Clemson. As much as McNeese State, they're hotter than hot. They're great. This is a really bad draw once again because I think this is going to be a great game. But I think Clemson's just the overall better team offensively and defensively.
All right, you've gone too long. There was never a chance in hell that I was going to allow the pick for this pod to be McNeese State. Not because it's not a state, which is another reason why. We all know why. Everybody at home, all the faithful listeners know that McNeese State will never be picked on this pod. They can win every game by 40 going to the national title. They will not get picked one single fucking time on this podcast. Clemson. Jeff, I'll allow you your time if you'd like.
I was going to say Clemson anyway. I think McNeese got a horrible draw. I think really almost any of the other 5 seeds, Memphis for sure, Michigan for sure, Oregon would have been a good chess match between 2 good coaches that do different stuff schematically. But Clemson's really good. Nearly went to the Final Four last year, returned most of the guys that did that, if not all. Little banged up, but I like Clemson.
All right, Clemson in a sweep. I have Purdue minus 7.5 against High Point. Every stat and metric says Purdue is the better team that I'm looking at here. Offensive rating, defensive rating, or sorry, not defensive rating, but like just almost everything else. Rebounding, shooting, free throw percentages. Purdue feels like they should be the better team, but it's just Purdue, and I just feel like High Point's going to give them a game. High Point might beat these guys. I got High Point.
I have High Point as well.
I
don't totally believe in this Purdue team. I also read something today that said that High Point is the best or one of the best 2-point field goal shooting teams in the entire country. And Purdue is one of the worst 2-point field goal defenses in the entire country. So I think Purdue's on a little upset alert here. I'm with you, Jordan. I think when you talk about high seeds that get a scare, I think this is the one. I don't think it's Texas Tech. I think it's Purdue.
I don't think it's even close. No, you can't compete against Purdue when your defensive efficiency is 227th. Like, they don't play defense.
It's overrated. Trust me.
No,
they did lose to FDU a couple years ago.
Like, there's no way. High Point gets maxed.
All right. We've got Illinois and what we have picked to be Texas. Could be Xavier or Texas here. I don't know. Jeff, you're leading it off.
I think this is the scariest first-round game in the entire bracket. I think Illinois' best can completely win this entire quad and go to the Final Four. I think Illinois' worst could have them lose by 10 points to Texas or Xavier in this game. I tend to think that Illinois has good players, and I think Brad Underwood can coach. So I'm going to side with Illinois, assuming the line's going to be like 4.5.
I'm going to make Jordan make a pick. I'm going to take Texas. Both offense and defensive efficiency in top 60, playing a tough conference, and they take care of the ball.
I don't know. My buddy I play golf with, young Trevor, went to Illinois. We'll take Illinois. Sometimes you just got to go in that direction to make a pick. Kentucky, minus 10.5 against Troy. 3-14 matchup here.
I will take Troy. 10, entering the tournament on a 6-game winning streak, and they have the Sun Belt Player of the Year. These boys, he's looking to get drafted.
Kentucky likes to go fast.
Facts. Could
Kentucky
not guard us.
Kentucky shoots it well. Offensive efficiency, also very good. I'll take Kentucky here. I'll make Jeff do something for us here.
I'm going to side with Zach and say that 10.5 is too much. I think Mark Pope needs to prove himself in the NCAA tournament. A number of those Mountain West struggles were his BYU teams getting to the tournament and doing nothing while he was there. Kentucky also missing, I believe, their best player is still out and not expected back for this game. Lamont something, maybe? Lamont Miller? Lamont Houston? Lamont something?
Keep going. Keep trying.
There is no Lamont listed on the injury list that I'm seeing. I see Kerr Krisa, who is a game time decision with a foot, and Jackson Robinson, who's out for the season.
Lamont Butler. Oh, now it says he's set to play. Says will be available. Didn't play last game. Lamont Butler. I was close with those two last name guesses.
You got Lamont.
I like Troy. I like Troy. Kentucky's got a little bit to figure out here. I know a lot of those guys from these teams that have struggled the last couple of years aren't there anymore, but it's still Kentucky.
All right. We will have Troy then. I have UCLA minus 5.5 against Utah State. We got some, in the vicinity of those Provo pushers, but not the Provo pushers. Wow, Utah State scores a lot of points while being relatively low in tempo. UCLA quite low in tempo. Utah State is got a magnificent offensive rating, very efficient, 121.7. That's good for ninth. Good for ninth in the country.
Good offense.
Can you tell me what Pythagorean wins are, Jeff, while we're just kind of scrolling down through here? It's on the bottom of every matchup thing with the score is Pythagorean wins.
No, the best guess that I would have would be some sort of shot quality metric where maybe if they got better shots, that their expected make rate of those shots was better than their opponent, even if they lost. Maybe that's the only thing I could think of. I'd never heard of that.
You Googling that, Zach?
Nope, but I'm guessing it's something to do with a triangle.
I was going to guess it's like some sort of common opponent type thing.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to take Utah State. They seem to be pretty good offensively. So I'll take Utah State. I'll take the 5.5.
Concept developed by Bill James estimates the number of games a team should have won based on the ratio of runs scored to runs allowed. So baskets scored to baskets allowed.
All right.
Adding a more predictive measure.
I feel pretty good about my guess.
You're pretty close.
Yeah, good.
I'll take that.
I'm going to take...
Isn't Jeff picking?
No, I think... Is it?
I'm going to let you go.
Okay, you go, Zach.
He didn't want it.
He didn't.
No,
he didn't want the ball.
I just want to. I want to get an assist here.
I want Utah State.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
See, if you would have went, he could have had that could have had a little more pressure on the line for him.
No, because I want Utah State.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. I was
trying to see if we could get to the end. And I also saw a report out today that Zach and I would be interested in that says that Mick Cronin is potentially interested in the Villanova job. And we would like Mick Cronin on the main line. Let's
Where's
just
he
get
at
that
now?
out there. UCLA.
Yeah, that would be.
That's right. He was bitching about the Statue of Liberty this year.
That would be a steal.
He'd be a great hire for them. Yeah.
UCLA's a worse spot than Villanova, all in all, right?
Depends. I can't speak for Zach. I've told a number of people the last week or two that I swore in the middle to late 2010s that I was not going to take those Villanova teams for granted. I did. And these are very sad marches on the main line now. So I don't know how good of a job the Villanova job is. Jay made it look really good.
It's a weird spot because the Big East, right? You have your Power Four conferences and then NIL money going predominantly. You have all these schools with the football programs. Villanova's got a powerhouse of alumni and NIL money, but it gets distributed differently and it's taxed, and it's a little bit different when your school doesn't have a football program like you're seeing this year with the SEC schools and everything, the Big Ten. So it's a weird spot. It's also, you got big shoes to fill.
He could see the Statue of Liberty significantly more without having to take so long to get there, though, if he'd like to come to Villanova.
Right down to Boat Row.
They weren't terrible. Like, they were pretty solid with their coach before Jay Wright.
Steve Lapis.
They never did anything in the NCAA tournament. They had, like, decent finishes throughout the year and just never did anything in the NCAA tournament. Jay Wright was a fucking good coach. Why did he quit? Who was he fucking?
We just started talking about.
Who was he fucking?
There were reports a long time ago.
Think he had a Provo pusher with him?
There was reports, and the people I was with this weekend shot it down pretty quickly.
Of course they did. They're
diehards.
Diehards.
But there was also some reports of his wife having cancer, but that's not come out yet.
Well, I would feel bad for what I just said. If his wife actually has cancer, that's why he retired.
So, I don't know. It's still like a secret.
I think it was all NIL related. He had a really good veteran team. They made a run, didn't get to the end. It was time to go. Doesn't want to deal with all this nonsense.
It's no longer recruiting and getting a kid as a freshman and watching him become a senior and develop. Right now, it's how much can you pay for a draft pick and let him play 1 year and see ya.
Yep.
Okay.
Different coaching.
We have the final matchup we're going to do is Tennessee Lane 18.5 against Wofford. So there's going to be we're going to do three quiz questions here. We're going to alternate answers here. So I'm going to tell you who's going to be answering this. First of all, Zach, where is Wofford?
It's in South Carolina.
South Carolina is correct. Zach gets one extra bonus point. Jeff, do you want to name the city in South Carolina that it's in?
I would love to name the mascot.
That's not going to be one of the questions.
I'm looking at a picture of the bracket. I'm like, I think I got that mascot.
I'll let you name it, but it's not going to earn you a bonus point.
They are the Terriers.
Okay. I was looking at French Bulldog, so it was going to be something with the dogs.
The actual question is, where will this game be played?
Can I go back to they're in Spartanburg, South Carolina?
That is correct, yes.
Yeah, but that's not the game's not
They're
there.
in the Midwest. This game's going to be played
Milwaukee?
in Wichita.
Incorrect. Lexington, Kentucky is the answer. I will see if I can come up with one more that we can settle this with. Tennessee minus 18.5. Jeff, you have the pick.
I have said all year that I did not think Tennessee was as good as everybody else. They consistently have proven me wrong. I don't think they're going to get out of this quadrant, but they've proved me wrong, and I'm tired of being wrong. But we're going to keep trying to be wrong, I guess, because I'm going to take Wofford an 18.5.
Zach.
I'm gonna take Tennessee. Wofford lost to Duke by 51 points this year.
I think it was like 28-2 or something, if I remember that game correctly.
86-35.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Tennessee then.
86-35.
That was a long time ago.
It was a long time. It was in November, but like that's wow.
Okay, here we go. I have some trivia questions here to close us out. There are 10 trivia questions. Zach currently leads 3-2 in the extra credit points. Jeff, you can answer until you get one wrong. I will give you up to 3 correct answers before we move over to Zach. You don't just get to run the table on them.
All right.
Which team has won the most national titles in the history of the NCAA tournament? Kentucky, UCLA, North Carolina, or Indiana?
UCLA.
Where does it tell me the answer? I'm pretty sure that's correct, but yes, UCLA is the answer. Okay, that is 3-3 now. Jeff, which team has the most national? We went backwards. Which team has the most Final Four appearances? It keeps flipping on me here. I got to stop this. North Carolina, Kentucky, Kansas, or UCLA?
We're going to say Kentucky.
That answer, I believe, is incorrect. And now it won't flip. North Carolina is the correct answer.
Garbage.
They have 20 Final Four appearances. Zach, you now come in. Who holds the tournament record for most points scored in a single game? David Robinson with the Navy in 1987. Bill Walton with UCLA in 1973. Hal Lear with Temple in 1956. Or Austin Carr with Notre Dame in 1970.
Can't we guess someone in the 2000s? Like, didn't Steph Curry shoot the lights out?
He is not one of the multiple choice answers.
Can I choose B?
B, Bill Walton with UCLA in 1973 was the answer. That is incorrect. The correct answer was D, Austin Carr, 61 points versus Ohio. Question number 4. What is the lowest seed? This is to Jeff now. What is the lowest seed ever to make a Final Four appearance? 12, 11, 10, or 9?
Well, VCU made it, and that was oh, God, was that a 12-5 or was that an 11-6? I think it was a 12-5, so we'll say 12.
That is incorrect. The correct answer is 11. It was done 3 times. LSU in 86, VCU in 11, George Mason in 06, and Loyola Chicago in 2018. So 4 times if I said 3. All right. Zach, back to you. Highest paid coach in NCAA men's basketball. This is probably a little dated based on some of these answers. Chris Beard with Texas Tech, John Calipari with Kentucky, Mike Krzyzewski with Duke, or Mick Cronin with UCLA.
Coach K.
The correct answer is John Calipari. It looks like these questions are from 2020. He was making $8.1 million in 2020.
Man,
that was a layup.
All right. Jeff, back to you now. We are through 6. This is our 6th question. We are still tied 3-3. You guys have not been doing very well. Beginning in 1967, UCLA went on to win how many consecutive national championships? 5, 6, 7, or 8?
I want to say they won 6.
Incorrect. The answer is 7. All right. Zach, here you go. Right up your alley. In 1985, Villanova, the lowest seed to ever win a national championship. What was their seed? 8, 4, 9, or 6? If you want to phone a friend and call Jeff Inocenzo, now would be your time.
I don't think he'd answer right now. Can I phone a friend?
No.
No, phone a friend is actually not allowed. We don't have time for that.
He'll answer.
All right, call him. Go for it. You got to put it on speakerphone.
Well, you're gonna have to read it back into my ear. 1985, Wally?
Yeah, he'll know.
Hey, phone a friend. I need a question answered. You're live. You're live on Ole Walls podcast right now. In Villanova's 19.
I'm doing my NCAA draft right now.
Oh, great! This is perfect timing.
Player draft.
So, 1985, Villanova won the national title. It was the lowest seed. Was it? What was it, Jordan? The 8, the 9,
8, 4, 9, or 6?
He doesn't even need them. 8.
I was going to say, I knew he wouldn't need it. That is correct. Zach takes the lead.
Thank you. I just took the lead.
Fraudulent Villanova fan needing a phone a friend.
Appreciate it.
Have fun.
See ya.
Zach, you can almost assuredly put it away here. Who is the all-time leading scorer in NCAA Division I basketball history? Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Wilt Chamberlain, Jerry Lucas, or Pete Maravich? This is an easy-ass question.
Basketball is like my least. I just watched March. What are the answers again?
The answers are Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Wilt Chamberlain, Jerry Lucas, or Pete Maravich.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Incorrect.
So Pete.
Yeah, it's Pistol Pete. I have to sign up to see the remaining two cards. So I'm going to give Jeff a point just because that was bullshit that he can't answer it. It ends in a draw. I will come back with more trivia questions next week if you two fine folks would be back to join me.
Would love to.
Let's get some winners.
All right.
I have to take the dog out. So.
I do want to know who Jeff thinks is going to be Villanova's next head coach.
I think it's going to be Chris Collins from Northwestern. I think it'd be a good hire. I would rather Mick Cronin. I would rather Darian DeVries from West Virginia. I would rather, I think, Ryan Odom, but I think Chris Collins would be a good choice.
Okay. Can we also go around and say who our winner is, since it's going to be cheating next week?
Sure. Lead us off.
I think that Houston cuts down the Nets. I'll do my final four. My final four is
Old Place's house.
I think Michigan State, St. John's, Duke, Houston, with Houston winning it all.
Wait, hang on. Say that again. You got. I'll post this too.
Michigan State, St. John's, Duke, Houston.
Okay.
With Houston winning it all.
Okay.
I have not done a bracket yet, so I will
either.
tweet my picks at Ole Walls' house.
No, you'll give some now if you want to tweet and adjust them afterwards. You can, but you're going to give some picks.
Well, we're going to do that then. We're going to go with Auburn, with Duke, with Texas Tech, and with Houston to be safe. It might become Clemson by the end of the week, but Duke winning.
Who's your winner? Duke winning it all.
Yes.
Who'd you have winning, Zach?
Houston.
All right. I'm going to take Tennessee. I'm gonna Jesus. Maryland. I think I even picked against them, but why not? Then we're gonna go Auburn. And then my final pick will be Wisconsin, with Auburn cutting down the Nets. There you go, people. You heard it here first. Check the Ole Walls House Twitter account or X account, whatever we're calling it nowadays. I will post all the picks. I'll post these picks on Tuesday morning when the pod comes out. And then look for our Saturday, Sunday picks on Saturday morning as well. So, gentlemen, thank you. Hopefully your Sunday or Monday, not Sunday, because the games will go till midnight for whatever God reason they come up with to have games Sunday night starting at 10 o'clock. So maybe your Monday night next week will be free, and we'll do this all again, and I'll come back with more trivia questions.
Let's do it.
Looking forward to it.
All right, boys. See you next week.
See you, boys.
Time for some passing thoughts. This is going to cover a lot of stuff. Probably not too long. We've had probably a long enough podcast already at this point. Just guessing. I'm recording this before we record the pick segment, but I'm just guessing we went a while with the boys. So let's just start with the Flyers and just get that out of the way. They stink. They lose two or three again. They're just garbage. That's all there is to it. I'm not spending any more time on that. beyond that. The Players Championship. The Players Championship ends this morning as I'm heading to jury duty, which then gets dismissed because the legal teams came to a settlement on Saturday, and they just said, fuck it, we're just going to bring you in anyway for 15 minutes. So that was cool. Drove 20 minutes to go do that. So fun. But playoff ends today. So let's just, touch on the playoff. I was pulling in right about the time just after JJ Spawn rinse washed it. This was going to be a big task for JJ Spawn. It looks like he didn't even finish 18. What is that? What happened? He doesn't even have a score on 18. Sorry, I'm looking around my light. 9 feet to the hole. Rory putts in. Ball game over. He doesn't finish. Okay. Yeah, it was going to be a tough task for JJ Spawn. Obviously, they get the weather delay yesterday, so the playoff happens Monday morning instead of Sunday evening. The way things were going Sunday evening, he might have had a chance in this playoff. It's not the best set of holes for him against Rory because Rory can just, and it was down, the par 5 was downwind today, 16th hole. But Rory just absolutely overpowered that hole. His drive went 336 yards. He had a $175 into the green. I believe it was pitching wedge was what the announcer said. I was listening to it on the way down to jury duty. 2 putts. JJ Spawn almost rinse washes one with his second shot, and then it's a bad bunker shot too. So again, it was going to be a lot for JJ Spawn to deal with what happened. And then I know where I see Rory 3-putted the 17th. He putted it at 8 feet by. So, I mean, yeah, it's tough to say that he guarantees that he's going to 3-putt that if JJ Spawn's on the green. But yeah, the final undoing was that JJ Spawn just completely airmails the green. And that's it. That was all she wrote. Now, that said, we should not take away from the final round JJ Spawn put together. Kind of struggling out front, was 2 over, makes birdie on the 9th, then makes a bad bogey on the 11th. And then right after the rain delay, it just feels like everything goes completely wrong for everybody but Rory. Rory comes out and makes a birdie coming right out of that rain delay. I believe that was his 12th hole. It's like, oh, this thing's over. He goes up 3, it's done. But JJ Spawn battled, man. Got to give the dude credit. Birdie's 14 and 16 coming in. I mean, 2 revolutions away from winning it in regulation. So, massive props to JJ Spawn for battling again. That was maybe an evening playoff away from him, maybe with the momentum. Rory, again, a 3-shot lead with 6 holes to play and doesn't close the door. Hey, there's a thought there that might have happened. If you just look, excuse me, a little cough there. If you just look around the leaderboard, Ashke Bhatia came back and battled. He was in it on Sunday after a pretty rough 75. Him and Minwoo Lee struggled. They played the one hole in 35 minutes. Tom Hoagie kind of backdoors a top 3, shoots 66, kind of out ahead of everybody. Corey Connors, again, with the ability to get himself into a tournament, just cannot make birdies. He ends up making 3 on the back 9, but it took until 11 for him to make his first birdie. Was just kind of hanging around the whole time. Morikawa, tough third round. I mean, Saturday was a tough day to put the ball in the golf ball in the hole. 77 from Morikawa really knocks him out of that. A 5 over Saturday. He goes 70, 65, 77, 69. He was bitching at the media again because he didn't talk, and now it's everybody else's fault. The captain, Keegan Bradley, hooped one on Sunday. Scotty Scheffler it seems angry all of a sudden. The putter's not working again. So interesting. Keeping my eye on Scotty. It's funny. I was listening to a pod last night, and I think his 5 finishes, he hasn't finished outside the top 20 since he's come back this year. And it's like, we're all like, what's wrong with Scotty? So it was like kind of what Jeff and I talked about last week. Like, you keep doing it. It's kind of like the curse of being good. It's like you keep putting yourself up there. And when you don't succeed at those levels, it gets weird. And it's funny that, Scotty, because he's just not winning every other golf tournament, we're like, what's wrong with Scotty? What's wrong with Scotty? Justin Thomas, woo, wowza, what an up and down that was. 78 on Friday, turns it around, ties the course record on Saturday, comes out, birdies the first 2 holes, adds 3 more on the front 9, then goes nuts for a stretch. Birdies 11, 12, 13, 14, 16, and 17, and then dumps one in the water on 18 on not like necessarily a layup, but he was like punching out and just rinses one. It's like, oh, no. JT, what are you doing? So that was electric. That made Saturday a lot of fun. It did feel like he lipped in about 3 of those putts on the back 9. It's funny. That's how golf is. It's like, when they're lipping in, they're good. The Creator Classic was good. I was strangely invested in that. I was watching that at Texas Roadhouse on the road. And by the way, Texas Roadhouse, always packed. Just always packed. Don't understand why. They are just always back. I mean, I do. It's good. But just really, really got invested in it for no reason. It was fun. What else I got? Saturday was cars. Scotty can't putt. JT. Extremely invested career. Oh, I guess it's time for the Rory talk. My interest, or not interest, because he's still interesting. My dislike for Rory has grown exponentially in the last year and a half. Used to be a guy I liked, kind of rooted for, but there have just been some things over the last year and a half, and his shenanigans this week put it over the edge for me. You date back to the Ryder Cup, he has quite the reaction to Joe LaCava, and I get it. I would understand being pissed, but then he's like in the parking lot throwing a fucking hissy fit. He had like a weird interview afterwards after it had been reported that Joe LaCava called him. Nope, haven't called me, haven't talked. It's like, okay, I get it. Heat of the moment, high tempers, high tension in the Ryder Cup. I'll let it slide. U.S. Open last year, Bryson, who I think it's pretty apparent he does not like, beats him. He storms out, doesn't do media, and his excuse is like, oh, you guys wouldn't want to hear from me. And it's like, no, you're being a bitch. Like, that's part of the deal with being a professional athlete is you stand up there and they interview when it's the good time and you have no fucking problem taking those interviews. But when it's the bad time, you got to sit up there and take your licks too. So there's that. Then this week, he gets heckled by some kid who turns out is like a college golfer at Texas and had won earlier in the week. Gets heckled. I forget what it even said. Rory goes over and takes his phone, like just steals his phone from him, like theft. That's against the law. Theft, stealing, burglary. Oh, burglary is when you do it with force, though, I think. But like, what the fuck? Like, you don't just take people's shit. Like, hey, you want to get them tossed? Again, bitch move if you ask me. Go for it. Like, whatever. But you don't just go fucking take somebody's stuff. Like, that is such a pussy move. And then, like, he gets asked about it. And he's like, I don't want to talk about it. It's like, tough shit. Like, you're going to do something that dumb, you're going to get questions. And so it's just on all of those things kind of put together. He's a fucking Euro on top of it. So, like, I'm just out. I'm just completely out on him. And I used to like him. I really did. And I know the other thing. It's like he was all against Liv. And then as soon as John Rahm and Tyrrell Hatton go, and it looks like that may be a hit to the European Ryder Cup team, he's like, oh, we just have to find a way for him to play. He had no problem when it was DJ and Bryson and Brooks and all the Americans going over, and it looked like they may not be able to get on, or all those old washed up fuckers from the European team that they kind of needed to get rid of anyway. And that was the biggest blessing to them, was that those guys cycled out and they didn't have to go through the like 2 to 4 year stretch of like, oh, do we pick Sergio? Oh, do we pick Lee Westwood? Like, he's got the veteran experience. And then they get out there and get drummed like they did up in Whistling Straits. Like, So it's like you had no problem when all that was going on. But as soon as it's going to affect you negatively, because you like winning the Ryder Cup, oh, no. So all of those things, I'm out on Rory. I'm just completely out. So, like PG, what is it? The the Copper Trap or the Snake Pit this week on the PGA Tour. How long do we got till the Masters? Yeah, the Valspar, Houston, then we got Valero, then we got the Masters. About just under a month to the Masters. It's almost here. Oh, let's just get through the last couple things here. Started watching 1923. I think I watched the first 3 episodes. I think there's a 4th out that I haven't watched yet. There's just too many storylines, man. Too much. Like, we're too all over the place. We got the Montana one that almost feels like it's an afterthought. We got, his wife. We got Spencer. We're just all over, man. We got the Native American girls. Like, did this come together? Like, how many seasons are we doing of this? We're halfway through the 2nd season. And I don't know, is this a 3-season thing? But if it's just a 2, it's like we're halfway through this and the main character's not even back at the ranch yet. So, remember when McDick's used to have 3 windows? I was at McDick's on the road and I thought of that. 3 windows. You'd order, you'd pay, you'd pick up. What a thing. Gas pumps now have started to have the tap thing on there, and then half the taps don't work. And if you do tap on some of them, it's like, oh, we do not accept this. And that slows you down for 6 minutes. Annoying. I just got a couple more things here. Oh, Rutgers and USC. I was just, I had flipped the TV on. I was like, oh, there's a basketball game on. And it was Rutgers and USC. I was like, oh, what's this? I thought it was conference tournament week. And I was like, oh, it is conference tournament week. That's a Big Ten game. Rutgers and USC were playing a Big Ten game. It could have been UCLA. I might have read down wrong. I don't know. Either way, Rutgers and USC or UCLA are in the same conference. Absurd. I wish the conferences could go back to the way they were. The Piggly Wiggly in my town. If you guys got Piggly Wigglies anywhere near you, I know that's not really a Northeast thing, but if you got a Piggly Wiggly near you, they're donuts. Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. That's all I got. Let's go close this thing up. Closing time, everybody. Just want to say thank you to everybody. I appreciate all you. So thank you for the watches and the listens. Thank you to producer Kevy, as always, for getting us started down this video path. We'll be back next week. More college basketball games to pick. The games on Saturday and Sunday this weekend. I will have them out in the Ole Walls House Twitter account. Ole Walls House, X, Twitter, whatever you want. I'll put them out on there. I might even throw them on my Insta. I'll see if I can figure out a way to do it. But definitely on the Ole Walls House Twitter, I'll have the Saturday, Sunday games. Don't forget to check out MJ over at the Full Range Pod. He's on the Ole Walls House YouTube page. You can find him, the Full Range Podcast on Spotify as well. So, thank you guys. We're back next week. More college basketball. There's another golf tournament. Who knows what else I'll stumble into. So, until then, peace.